But you don't know that.
Neither do you.
Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe. Are we live? We are live. Pictures and everything.
Pictures. You gotta love pictures.
Yep. We got pictures. We're here. Raz and Max ready to do, just doing some final cleanup.
I hate cleaning.
I do need to do one more thing real quick, so nobody hate me.
Nope. I hate you already.
Oh, don't.
But it's like a love-hate thing. It's like.
All right. Well, hello everyone to the two people watching so far. Of course, this is Raz and Max, the two game timers. We are just doing a more laid back intro, like here we are, who we are, how we're doing, how did we get here, that kind of stuff. So this is going to be the episode of we have no script. We're literally just going to be ad-libbing everything.
We're winging it.
So the episode 1 that supposed to go live at 8 is probably going to be a little behind, a little delayed, but it's going to be a little bit more script friendly.
Technical difficulties.
Well, normally we're going to have the thing ironed out altogether once we get there, because this was kind of like thrown together. We figured it's better to do like a little fun, like laid back thing than talk about it ourselves for God knows how long.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to just be all about you. You want to have some diversity in there.
Exactly. We might get around to talking to Max. Maybe. It just depends.
Maybe. It's just, depends on how much you have to say.
Exactly. So what we're going to start doing here is we're going to just this is obviously we're just spitballing this whole thing. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where we started with video games, how do we get where we are, just a quick little introduction. I'm gonna kick us off, and obviously Razzmatazz 87. I've actually had that name since the original Xbox, since Halo 2 on it. I think the same thing with you, Max. But right. Yeah, I've not changed it one bit. In fact, I was very proud of the there was a little logo. I forget what it was, but there was a little logo thing that they Xbox used to put on there telling you how long your tenure used to be. I think I was at like 11, 12, 13 years, something like that, and then you don't see it anymore, which sucks.
That's a shame. Yeah, you want to know how many years you have invested.
Exactly. How many years I've sold my soul to Microsoft already. All the years of Xbox Live. But anyways, yeah, I've had Razzmatazz 87, the whole time. I've tried to grab it on everything. The only thing I wasn't successful at getting it is on Twitter. I don't know who the heck has Razzmatazz 87 on Twitter.
Who would have that on Twitter?
I have no clue.
Like,
I had to go with Razzmatazz 887. I was like, really? Come on. But yeah, I've grabbed it on everything else: PlayStation, Steam. I don't know what else there is out there, but everything else I have Razzmatazz 87. The first gaming console I've ever played, I actually tell the story all the time, where I have 3 defining moments in my gaming repertoire, I guess you could say. The first one, I went over to my aunt's house, and I remember seeing my cousins playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Genesis. And I was just like, holy crap, this looks amazing. So the first
Tails, right? Sonic and Tails. It was the
it's the one that had Tails in it. Yeah. But I was like, this looks incredible. I have to have this. And thankfully, I think it was the next birthday. In fact, I even remember unwrapping it. It was the birthday party at Burger King, but I remember tearing it open, and it was a Sega Genesis with Joe Montana Football 94 of all games. I don't know why that one, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And that was more or less the thing that got me into it. The second defining moment was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because from the time I had the Genesis until I got Ocarina of Time, I played games, I liked games, but I didn't love games. You know, like I'll
Mhm.
play them every now and then. And honestly, back then most of the games were not that great. There were some good ones, but most of them were not great.
You take that back. They've been great the whole time.
Well, the ones we played, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But anyways, I remember playing Ocarina of Time, and that was when I was like, "All right, I guess I'm selling my soul to video games from now on. I'm addicted."
right. You made the deal at the crossroads. It's like, no, you hear it as much as just give me games, give me games. Just
Yep, I was sold at that point on. And the third moment was with Halo 2. Obviously, that was the first time got to play on Xbox Live. We didn't have to lug we all played Halo, System Link and stuff like that, but that was the first time that I could stay home. You could stay home. Our friends could all stay home. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, going from all those, and I owned, just quick rundown. I had a Genesis, had a Super Nintendo, had a Nintendo 64. Did not own a PlayStation 1. Just, I don't know why. I just didn't get into it, but I can't remember if my brother or someone else had one, but I remember playing Armored Core and Gran Turismo a lot, but that was about it. And I remember borrowing one to play Metal Gear Solid, but I never owned one. I did own a PlayStation 2, because who didn't? I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, Lord. Well, I did own one, even though I was very late to the game. I got it very, very late. But GameCube, Xbox, original Xbox, and then when we got to the next generation, I was all 360. Like, I almost forgot about the Wii in general. Like, I bought it for Zelda, and that's literally the only game I played on it. But I was all 360. I played very little PlayStation 3. And then, of course, with the current generation, as y'all probably will find out soon, I've actually owned a PlayStation 4 for about a year and haven't hardly played it.
you didn't touch it. Yeah.
I haven't. Is literally, and it's the Darth Vader one too. So I had to have that one. But that's gonna change. I'm gonna upload some PlayStation videos to finally play the big games. But I am all Xbox. I own over 100, physical Xbox One games. I couldn't even tell you how many physical 360 games. And I do have a Switch. Actually, I'm pretty proud of it. It's right here. Right there. So I actually get quite a bit of gameplay out of this thing. And I just knocked my little Switch stand over, so you have to give me a second. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I own a Switch. I have a Wii U that never gets played. I think that's one thing that kind of stinks about video games is I've bought a lot of games and a lot of consoles, and some of them just don't get played.
There's only so many hours in the day, and you find the ones you like the most, and you usually stick to them. You'll dabble in other ones when you get bored, but I mean, you typically find your niche that you like and stick with it, I say.
Yeah. And I will go into games, but we're gonna save the games for our regular show because we have some cool ideas with that. We have a top 3 list that we're gonna be throwing out, so I don't want to spoil anything with games or franchises or anything like that. We're gonna save all that. So I just wanted a quick rundown of the consoles themselves.
Okay, yeah. So I've been, like I said, gaming forever. It's since I think before I could walk, I was probably had a Nintendo controller in my hand.
That's impressive.
Like, yeah, maybe. I mean, I probably used it as a pacifier. But no, I started out on the Atari. Believe it or not, we had one, and like there's only a couple games we played, Pong and the little guy on the swung on the
just real quick. I have played an Atari. I have never I mean I know the shape of it and I know there's a couple different models, but I have never owned one. Like I've never been around one for probably longer than 30 minutes.
So. I mean, it was impressive for the day, but
but it was ancient technology I started when we were coming around.
I mean, when it was ancient because I think the NES was there, but we still had it and I still played it. But we got NES. I played tons of games on it. Like I said, we could go into the list of them and then we'd run out of time. But I played tons of games on that. We had a Super Nintendo. And I think I only played Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo.
You didn't play Link to the Past?
No.
Wow.
Because we didn't. I mean, I couldn't get every game, but I think there's just a couple games we had. I faintly remember playing Donkey Kong Country.
Pre GameCube, regular Xbox, where I started buying my own stuff. Before that, we didn't have very many games. So, I mean, you come to love the few that you got. That's for sure.
Right. You played them till it broke.
Yeah.
Now after the Super Nintendo, I did have a Sega. I did not have a Sega Saturn, but I did have a Sega and a bunch of Sonic. I think there was a game called General Chaos, and there's some of the more mainstays I played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now I never had the N64. And I regret it. I played it on my friend's house all the time. But there's so many good games, and I haven't owned all the consoles, but I've played all the consoles.
I think that's the
I
same
didn't have
for me.
a console, my friend did, and if he didn't have it, I did. But he usually had everything. He was the only child.
I know who you're talking about.
So, but I think you talking about defining moments. I think, some of my bigger defining moments was getting my first, getting the original Xbox with that funky controller. Playing Halo
for web TV.
Faintly.
Yeah, that we actually had that. That was like our only way of enjoying internet for the while. I mean, it was pretty crazy. The first time that we actually got decent high-speed internet is because I paid for it. I mean, that's why I was like, no, I want to play Halo. We got to upgrade this internet.
Well, I mean, from when I used to play, I mean, I lived out in the country. We had DSL. I mean, I had dial up, and that was it. Like DSL didn't come that far out, so I actually had to come to other people's houses to use their internet to be able to game online. And I mean, like, imagine me playing World of Warcraft on a laptop with dial-up internet.
You were having the time of your life.
Somebody picture that. Like, I could not go into any city. I had to stay out and fight the boars or the murlocs. Like, I just had to stay in the weeds and to be able to actually game. If I went to Stormwind or any of the major cities, it just kind of went. It didn't even. It almost shut down the.
You could be talking Chinese to me right now, and I wouldn't even know.
You never played WoW? Okay, so you went to a more populated area with
there's
more stuff and more people.
A lot of people around. Right,
a lot of people, a lot more stuff that you have to load in, like more. It's like a game within a game. You have to download. You're playing the game, then to go into a big city where you just run in is populated with people and a lot more textures and everything. My internet and PC or laptop could not handle it. So
gotcha.
And
I think I remember our mutual. Actually, no, I take it back. I have played WoW, but I've only played like less than 30 minutes of it because I was playing on another friend's account. The same friend I think you were talking about with the N64. I think I went over to his house and played it for a few minutes because I remember him and another friend from school talking about some slash this, slash that, and I was just like,
well, okay. I mean, the Leroy Jenkins.
I do know Jenkins that. Thing. I do know that.
It came from WoW. No, I played.
Come on, Max. I'm not that ignorant. Come on.
You didn't play it. You may not know. No. It's just I played everything, and it was once the 360, once the Xbox came out, I was hooked. The bigger controller. I thought was better exclusive games at the time. Halo, mainly Halo. Fable. You had some, like you said, Call of Duty.
For me, Forza Motorsport.
Gears. So it was
they were, golly, man. That makes me makes me sad because Xbox was killing it for 360, dude.
Oh, it was, other than the Red Ring stuff, it was the best console.
Even then, it was like I had played such good games, and I playing with my friends most importantly over the best internet service you could get for gaming. I
Yes.
mean, me going through what 3 or 4 consoles, I think 4, I didn't even care.
Just more. Give me more. Give me
Yeah.
more.
I didn't even care. I actually only bought a PlayStation 3 just because I had to wait 2 weeks to get my second or third console back in the mail because you had to wait 2 weeks to get it. And I was like, well,
I'm
crap,
jum-
I'm not gonna go buy another 360 when I get one for free. So let me go buy a PlayStation 3 so I can at least say I have both of them and I got something to play now.
I'm jonesing, man. I need a console.
Exactly. And it was sad is I had a Wii at the time. Was a Wii U? No, I think I had a Wii at the time, and I didn't play it. The only thing I cared about was Zelda, and once I played Zelda and Pigman, I was done.
I never I never owned a Wii, and I'm glad I didn't because the little bit I played of it, I thought was trash. I mean,
Sadly, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I will actually buy, you know, with Nintendo consoles specifically for Zelda, even if it's just one Zelda game like the Wii U.
you'll buy a console for one game.
I will. I've done it for Zelda. Only for Zelda though. That's the only one. I guess technically Halo too because I'm buying Xboxes all the time for Halo. But I will say though, Skyward Sword on the Wii was the worst. It is without a doubt the worst 3D Zelda game ever. It is the bottom of the pile. Now it's not the worst Zelda game ever because there are some 2D Zeldas that nowhere near as good, but it is the worst 3D Zelda, and it was on the Wii. So
I mean,
I,
it's just
tells you
I
about
don't
it,
know.
I guess.
I think I think it's just once because I never got into all the consoles like God of War and stuff, so I never had to pick up.
Oh, God of
I
War
never
was
had to pick
great.
up a PlayStation. I had my Xbox games, and most of the games I played were um they went back and forth between consoles. They weren't exclusives,
Mm-hmm.
so might as well just stick with the same console and pick up the same games that are going to come out on everything else. Why change what I know? But yeah, Xbox all the way.
I'm
But
gonna, I'm, gonna, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. Since me and you love the 360 so much, and I had fond memories of the other consoles, of course, but I just remember the 360 so clearly because it wasn't that long ago. What is the moment that is like the most defining moment when it comes to? It doesn't matter if it's the console itself, the online stuff, a game. It's just something to do with the 360. While you're thinking, I'll give you mine while you're thinking, 'cause I know I'm putting you on the spot. So for me, I was so frustrated by the end of Halo 2. I remember it. Even though I loved the multiplayer is fantastic, everybody at the end of Halo 2 was like, "All right, let's do it. We're coming down to Earth as Master Chief. We're gonna come finish this fight," and it ends. I was so frustrated that the last level was, what's his name? The Arbiter. Oh yeah, I was so mad about that. So when Halo 3 came out, I remember I was working at Walmart at the time. Went across the street to EB Games. I had pre-ordered the big collector's edition. I don't know if I can get it on here. Yep, there it is. Top corner. I still got my helmet up there. You'll see a little bit of the orange up there glowing. That is my collector's edition from 2007. So I still have it up there. I even still have the box to it. But I remember buying that game. I bought the collector's edition strategy guide because why not? And I played Halo 3 all in one night, stayed up all night long, did not care, beat the campaign in one night. And I remember thinking from that game, from beginning to end, was like masterpiece. So for me, it would be Halo 3 as
Halo
in
3
total.
is
Yeah. So
yeah.
now that you're no longer on the spot.
Um, I I don't know. It's a tough one for me. It's tough because
It's not an
um
easy question.
for the 360, my most like defining era or time frame. Um, like I said, I loved shooters. I loved Halo. I loved Call of Duty at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest like even today, like I wish it was still here. I wish it was still around. I wish it was still being more games were made of it, and it was still like vibe. I mean, it was still really big. Was Left 4 Dead,
Oh, that was a good
and
one.
I I met one of my best friends today on that game, and it's it's just the game style itself, which was all multiplayer. Like you could play single player, but it was just multiplayer, and the whole experience of playing it, um, like I can't tell me how many hours I sunk into that game, just loving the repetitiveness of it. Was always, it was the first game I played where it didn't feel repetitive, like because of the dynamic of how you played it, the characters and the spots and the different coordination and everything. Like it was just, to me, that was a game breaking experience that I don't believe they haven't duplicated yet. I mean, because if you're playing Call of Duty, it's the same corridors, the same guns, the same actions. You're just whoever has the best shot or the host connection at the time.
Like, God, it was even worse back in the day too.
Yeah. So yeah, it got old quick. I mean, you still played it because it was still good, but it got old quick. Left 4 Dead was just completely different style game, and that made me fall in love with the console and the game. And I said, yeah, just that, and maybe going into Titanfall, maybe Titanfall itself as a transformative shooter. But between those two games, those were my defining moments in my gaming career.
I actually kind of forgot about Left 4 Dead. Isn't it amazing that we haven't got a Left 4 Dead 3? How is that a thing? Well, same thing with Half-Life 3, I guess.
Well, I think Left 4 Dead 2 didn't sell, like it didn't perform like it was. It didn't. I don't think it did as good as the first one. It was still good, but the studio, I don't know if they were sold, like Steam at the time. I think Steam bought Left 4 Dead from Turtle Rock Studios. And Steam, I just guess they didn't feel like, I guess they had bigger things planned and they didn't want to go back into it. I've heard rumor of a Left 4 Dead 3 being made, or it was in talks, but nothing ever materialized. But
man, that's sad because like now that I think about it, it's 3s across the board for Valve in general. Left 4 Dead 3, Half-Life 3, Portal 3, like Team Fortress 3. Where the crap are these games?
Right. It's
like, what are y'all doing?
It's kind of said 2's enough for me, and they leave it alone. You know.
I guess so. Yeah, if you play a Valve game, they're stopping at 2, I guess. All right. Well, is there anything else you can think of for this intro? I mean, we did a quick rundown of everything. We have a few people watching. Do y'all have any questions for us?
We're open books. I mean, if you know. Don't be afraid to ask us anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely want to get as much viewer interaction as possible. I will say though, while we're waiting for a second, so this is just like an intro. We're just kind of filling each other out, letting y'all know about us and everything we've went through for gaming and stuff. And we're actually about to end the stream here in a second, but we're going to boot it back up here in a little bit for our official episode 1, which is technically supposed to start right now. But we're a little behind. We apologize. We were having some technical issues getting it going. Let's see so my buddy Shane, the TMT remake, TMNT Ninja Turtles. I don't know why I'm getting tongue twisted on that. The TMNT remake, you think will bring on new gameplay finally? I'm not sure what he's talking about, Shane. What are you talking about, Shane? Is there a Ninja Turtles game coming out that I'm unaware of?
Are you talking about a new movie or new game? Like the new movie will spawn games, or they're talking about a new game?
Oh, okay, yeah, I got what you're saying. So you're asking, is the movie going to spawn a game, a good game? I hope so. I will say, if you haven't played, there is a game that came out on the PS4 and Xbox One called Mutants in Manhattan. I love that game. It's really good.
Nothing will ever beat the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, where it's like the arcade version. Like you'd find the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will ever beat that for me.
Specifically Turtles in Time, though. Turtles in Time. That was technically Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. I actually still have my Super Nintendo cartridge of that still. So I'm very proud of that.
Top 5 game.
easily, yeah. And then the Genesis had a Manhattan Project. That's what it was called. So the NES one was pretty good, Shane, but it was I like the arcade one. So I think it was Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, the one I think Max is talking about. That was the one that actually had an official cabinet and everything. That one was phenomenal also. But the original, very first Ninja Turtles game, look, I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. Y'all know, I think every one of y'all know this by now. It was a little rough around the edges. I hate to say it. It was rough. It was very rough.
That was a hard game.
It
that
was.
A tough game.
Let's see. Andrew, everything's good, but I also heard about Left 4 Dead. So Andrew's apparently heard about Left 4 Dead. So
it was in talk.
Left 4 Dead
it was
3.
in talk. Like, I think, I don't know. Well, the unofficial Left 4 Dead 3 is that piece of. I mean, I don't want to cuss that POS they made where it was the 4 hunters and they were fighting the big monster. They were tracking the big monster. Do you know what I'm
Evolve.
About? Evolve. That was made by Turtle Rock Studios. I think
that game sucked.
That game was trash.
Yeah,
it was essentially taking Left 4 Dead, the 4 players versus the tank, and making it into its own. It was making that into its own game, and it was trash.
Yeah,
like there's only so many times you can shoot 1,000 bullets into or 1,000 rounds into a big creature and not get bored of it.
Oh god, that game disappointed me so much. I think I pre-ordered that one, and I think I bought like some kind of. It wasn't really a collector's edition in the sense of like you actually got stuff. It was the like a digital collector's edition that's got extra codes and stuff in it. Well, and I was so disappointed in that game.
I really thought there was going to be a Left 4 Dead 3. I really thought there was. I thought it would already be out. Bill from Left 4 Dead has been in other games. He was a character you could play in Dead by Daylight. He was one of the playable characters you could choose. So he's been in other games, but I'm so wishing that game they will make another one.
Valve is just disappointing us, I guess.
Damn you, Valve.
But we still love you. Just make the third of all your games. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hop off here for a little bit. If y'all want to stay right here, obviously, we're not going anywhere. Just give us a few minutes. That way we can get ready for our official first episode. We're just going to put a little break in here so we can split it up. I would say, max 30 minutes and we'll be back. But honestly, it may not even be that long. So, all right. Well, we appreciate everyone coming in. We just wanted to give the quick rundown, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So